back. Okay, so we've been called to this boiler, let's say for example, they're constantly having to top the pressure up underneath, purely because what's happened here is it's losing pressure all the time, and it's a very common thing that the expansion vessel, which normally would sit, bear with me, on the back here, because this whole boiler sits on a jig. I don't know where the jig is, I apologise for that. It's somewhere, but I couldn't find it. And attached to the jig is the big round expansion vessel. You've seen them all before. And then coming off that is a braided hose, which then tucks into this connection under there on an O-ring and a clip. So now there's two ways of changing. Sorry, let's go back. Here's the PRV. The Worcester, in their infinite wisdom, decided to put it right at the back in the most awkward position you could possibly imagine. So that is on a lot of these Worcester Juniors and all stuff. It's always in the same place. Right? Now, obviously, the expansion vessel, there's a problem with it, which is why this is opened and why it's pouring water out here, and that's where the pressure's going all the time. And once these open, very rarely do they ever seat properly again. So even just pumping up the expansion vessel, i.e. recharging it with a pump to around about 1.5 bar, it may be okay, and the expansion vessel may be okay if that's all it needs. But this valve, hey up pal, is still faulty, because once it's open, it's on a spring, and like anything on a spring, once stretched, never quite sits properly again. So yeah, so you can, the easiest way to do this, right, there's two ways of doing it. You can, if you really want to, and it's in position, take off the entire hydraulic block to get to it. Oh, sorry, there's three ways of doing this, right? So you can take off the entire hydraulic block, which I would never recommend, because it's very difficult to get to that. Or I'd suggest the easiest way is to remove the entire boiler off the wall. Now, because this is on a jig, normally you can isolate everything underneath. So you isolate the return, the flow, the hot water, the cold and the gas and all sorts. So you do all of them, and then you drain the boiler down. Now what you want to do then is you unwire it. So obviously you make sure you've pulled the fuse, you've done your safe isolation. Doesn't take very long to unwire it, and then you're left with the flue on the top. Now this can be a little bit awkward, but it does come off. Alright, so take the flue off, take the flue elbow off. Now you've got a boiler which is sat on the wall, which is only connected by this, and this. Now, next stage, you'll have your expansion vessel tucked into there with a spring clip on it. Now stick a bucket underneath. Again, maybe worth removing the PC board, but stick a bucket underneath once the boiler's drained and pull that out. And just because this is obviously attached to the jig, so if you try and lift it off with that attached, it ain't going to come off the wall. Okay, so the best thing to do is to pull that out, catch any bits of water, and you can actually stick a screwdriver or something in the Schrader valve on top of the expansion vessel, and that will sort of allow the water to escape, because technically it will be airlocked. Okay, so once you've pulled that out and it's empty and it's stopped dripping, lift the entire boiler off the wall, and then you're exposed to the jig. And on the back of the jig, like I said, is the expansion vessel. Change the expansion vessel or pump it up. Well, if you're taking it off to change it, just change it. Put your new one on. Take your braided hose off. Make sure that isn't blocked. So either blow through it, ram a screwdriver through it, because you can get black shit in there. So yeah, that's how you change the PRV. I would never suggest taking the hydraulic lot off, because it would take a lot longer. Literally, it takes about an hour of that to get this ball off the wall to change the expansion vessel and the PRV on the back. So yeah, that's that. So next vid will be something completely different. But you can find all of this information on the YouTube channel. So yeah, I think next what we're going to do is remove this section, show you how to service it and stuff, which is easy to do. So thanks.